Now hear me out. I know you see the sub count. It's 5,000 subscribers, and I posted my first video 7 years ago. I am 30 years old, Unk status, and I'm about to turn 31, and I've been thinking a lot about life and getting older, mostly because I'm starting to get white hairs, like on my mustache, on my actual head. So the white hairs are finally coming in at almost 31 years old. So I'm thinking about mortality. I'm thinking about life. I'm thinking about the last 10 years I've experienced. And I'm thinking about the things that I've learned that I would want to tell other people that are just starting out, early 20s. And I guess in some sort of way, give a little bit of advice to people who are similar to me or were in similar situations. Obviously, this is not going to apply to everybody out there, but if you're anything like me, and here's some context. I was 20 years old when I got kicked out of my house. I was working at a Krispy Kreme as a janitor. I think it was year 1 into being a janitor at Krispy Kreme, and I didn't have any money to my name. I had a 94 Corolla. No, not Corolla, Accord. It was a Honda Accord, year 94, and it had over 230,000 miles on it. And this was my lifeline, man. So it took 10 years for me to get to a place where I was doing well in life. And there are some things that I've learned throughout that time. I think one of the most important things that I've done in my life to get from a spot where I've had literally nothing to a spot where I'm doing well for myself with no support, with no parental support, where it's just basically me and having to figure it out all by myself. I pretty much grew up all by myself. My mom was always at work. My dad lived in a whole different state. And to be completely honest, I kind of raised myself, right? So if you're like me, that kind of applies to you, then hear me out. Okay, one piece of advice is, even when shit got really tough, I was at my lowest, super depressed, times were hard. Yes, I have my moments of despair. You lay in bed, you don't get up, etc. The most important thing is that when that time of despair and grieving is done, you get up and, if you're still feeling sad, you persevere. You have to force yourself past it. Because if you don't force yourself out of it, if you don't push through, you're going to stay in the exact same spot. Now, life is like the ocean, right? Ups and downs. And I think that applies whether you're poor or you're rich. Now, I wasn't poor, but when I left my home, I had nothing in my name. It was just me, my shitty little janitor job, my shitty car, and that's pretty much it. When life is tough, you have to push forward, okay? There's no ifs, there's no buts. This is just something that I forced myself time and time and time again, okay? So advice number 1, you're feeling like shit, you're doing like shit, life is shit, push, okay? Even if you're pushing towards another shitty job, another shitty event, whatever, you keep going, because ultimately there's some good you're pushing towards. Maybe far down the line, but the good is there. And if you don't push, you're never gonna get to the good. And by the way, I didn't write any of this shit down. This is just kind of like stuff that's come to my head that I'm thinking as I make this video, okay? Number 2, you can be afraid of trying new things. Be afraid. I have done and tried so many different jobs, so many different experiences, really bad experiences. I deal with a lot of social anxiety and just anxiety in general. And one thing that I've always done is I've pushed through the anxiety to try different things. I've done janitor work, busser, call center. I was a pharmacy technician. I went to a pharmacy tech school to work in pharmacy. cashiering. I've done cashiering. I've done car washer, customer service. I've done so many random jobs, but I've tried things and I've learned a lot of things about myself doing these things. And throughout all that time, I haven't just learned things about myself, I've picked up different skills. And if you're not trying new things or working different jobs, and they're all terrible jobs, you're not learning new skills. And all of these combined skills have benefited me where I am today and what I do today. So that's number 2. Try things, learn things. You're not going to pick up a skill everywhere you go. But if you're trying a lot of things, you will pick up some stuff. Like when I did nightclub promotions. As somebody who has a ton of social anxiety, it's hard for me to naturally interact with people. But that job forced me to interact with people, because if I didn't interact with people, I couldn't get people into the nightclubs and I couldn't get paid. And if I didn't get paid, I would be homeless. Okay? So it's being forced during these moments that teach you things. So number 2, try different things. And I just hope some of these words are relevant to you guys. The last 10 years have been hard and have been good. There's, like I said, it's an ocean, ups and downs, ups and downs. You just got to keep pushing, try new things, always try to better yourself with that in mind. Now, my third advice is something that has worked for me, right? Find something you like, right? Now, this has taken me years to cultivate, right? I like music a lot, right? And for a long time, I would listen to The Strokes here, and I'd be like, man, how cool would it be to make music for a living, right? Be a musician, be a rock star, blah, blah, blah. Taught myself guitar, played the guitar, and not that good. But it was the fact that I picked something that I liked, and it was music. And this led me into a creative path. Always wanting to learn and be better at something. After music, I started watching a lot of YouTube. And because of that, I would see a lot of people make videos. And I would always think to myself, these are just normal, regular people, just like myself, that one day decided to take a camera, learn how to use it, and post videos online. Now these people are having a great life, enjoying life, doing something different, doing something that most people aren't doing. So I said to myself, okay, maybe I'll be a YouTuber, right? Now hear me out. I know you see the sub count. It's 5,000 subscribers, and I posted my first video 7 years ago. Stay with me. Because of that thought, because of that idea of wanting to become a YouTuber, I started learning how to make videos. And every year since I first started making videos, I've learned and I've practiced, and it has gotten me to the point where I now do social media marketing, videography, and photography for brands, personalities, and businesses here in Las Vegas. Now, I'm going on to year 2 of doing this, and year 2 has been one of my most successful years of my life. Why? Because I stuck with the mentality of wanting to do something, of learning something that I enjoyed. Now, again, I posted my first YouTube video 7 years ago. So this is 7+ years of doing shitty jobs and having terrible experiences. But I never stopped teaching myself, learning the craft, learning the skill that has led me to this journey, right? So with number 3 is learn something and don't quit. That's literally it. Pick a skill, stick with it, learn it, master it, and continue working through it. No, I'm not a musician, I'm not a rock star, but now I'm doing pretty well, and I'm in a spot where I'm happy doing what I do. I'm not a janitor anymore, you know? And it's because I picked something. I guess I had a delusional thought that I could be a YouTuber, but now it's part of it's what I do for a living. I help other brands and businesses here in Las Vegas make social media content because I want to make videos for myself. And it's been very lucrative, and there's so much more. And the journey has just started. 7 years in, the journey has just started. So if you can take any of these things that I've just mentioned today and apply it to your life, and remember that it's worth it if you just keep pushing forward. There's always something better as long as you work towards something. If you stay in bed and you don't do anything, you're never gonna go and find the good. So this is a much longer video than I wanted to be, but I just hope it has some sort of meaningful impact to at least one person, okay? But yeah, those are my thoughts, very random, but I've been thinking a lot how grateful I am of what I do now and how long the journey has been for me personally. Some people find it overnight, some people don't, but just keep trying, because if I did something meaningful with my own life, you can too.